It is now November 25th, 1994, Friday. I hold you close to me. I am very hopeful that us doing this will be a big part of the healing process. The loss of our beloved daughter, Cherie, when she was only 5 days old. Tomorrow, November 26, 1994, Saturday, will be the 1 year anniversary of our Cherie's birth. Without you, Mandy, I know I wouldn't have been able to gotten through her loss. Your idea of making this recording tonight was a great, fantastic, and wonderful idea in tribute to our little baby daughter, Cherie, who would now be 1 year old tomorrow. We are now sitting in what would have been Cherie's bedroom in about a year or so, after she wasn't in the bassinet anymore in our room with us. Mandy, seeing you now sitting on her bed, hugging the stuffed rainbow unicorn you gave to Cherie, warms my heart. I love you, my beloved Mandy, my little princess.
As we talk, our eyes are damp from all of our thoughts on the loss of our precious little baby daughter. I hold the plush rainbow unicorn that I gave to Cherie very close. I know that the thought of her being gone for a year is hard for both of us, but we are doing our best to get through this day, holding each other and knowing that our little angel was taken too soon. But she will never be forgotten. I hold you tight, and I know that we are both thinking the same thing. We wish more than life itself that we could have our baby girl back. But we know that will never happen, and our pain is that much deeper, remembering our little Cherie, our baby, my love, my big boy. I know you and I both could take the pain of losing her, but only if there was any chance of knowing that she was safe and being taken care of, and with a family who would love and cherish her as much as we did.
Oh, my sweet Mandy, I feel the same way. God damn that Netticoke Hospital. God damn that Commonwealth Health Organization. Fuck 'em all. We found out that our Cherie could have been saved, and they refused to do it. Them cock-sucking bastards. Those cunts. They are goddamn murderers. I hope they all goddamn fucking burn. Another reason why not to trust doctors. And I know that you feel the same way, my love.
Yes, I am so pissed off at that damn Nanticoke Hospital and Commonwealth Health. They should have taken better care of our little baby. If they would have done their job, our precious baby would be here. And instead of being here, she's in heaven. I hope they all burn as well. I wish there was some way to make them pay, but we can't do anything to bring back our little girl. And it just kills me because she was so young. I would give anything to have her back.
You begin to cry hard, your beautiful eyes sparkling with tears. I hold you, I caress you, and pet your soft black hair. Oh, my love, my Mandy. I would do anything to have Cherie back, my love. Losing a child is so goddamn hard. I only hope that I have helped you as much as you have helped me throughout this. I comfort you with such love.
We hold each other tight and cry as we remember how much we miss our little girl. My big boy, I know that you have been a rock for me to lean on. You never let me fall when I was trying to cope with the loss. I was heartbroken and shattered to my core. You picked up the pieces and put me back together. I don't know if I could have done any of it without you. Losing a child is the worst thing a parent can go through. Losing our little girl is so fucking hard, but you and I have each other.
Mandy, my sweetness, I want you to know that you would have been the best mommy in the whole world to our little beloved Cherie. I remember how wonderful you were in that hospital room holding our baby Cherie in your arms, singing Over the Rainbow from the movie The Wizard of Oz to our Cherie. It was the most beautiful sight and sound I have ever experienced. That is when you gave Cherie the rainbow plush unicorn.
I remember singing to our little girl and holding her tight, and the look on her sweet face will always stay in my heart. And I wanted to give her a stuffed animal that would mean something to her. So I found the stuffed rainbow unicorn. I loved the movie The Wizard of Oz, and I wanted to pass on something that meant something to me to my little girl. It meant so much to me being in that hospital, holding our little girl. It was the most joyous and yet the most heartbreaking time at the same time. I remember the way Cherie felt in my arms, the smell of her in that hospital room. It felt so right but so wrong at the same time. The look on her face as I sang to her, I knew right away that she knew she was loved.
So Mandy, I get this sense, am I right or am I wrong? So you had a feeling that she wouldn't be here much longer when you held Cherie as you sang Over the Rainbow?
It was a feeling I had. Maybe that was my motherly intuition, that she wouldn't be here for long and that something would happen. I had no idea what would happen. I just had a feeling. That was why I wanted to hold her as often and for as long as I could. I wanted to hold her and never let her go. I was afraid that if I did, she would slip away, like water through my fingers. I know as a mother that my love was the best thing to do, to hold her tight against me. I hope she had the happiest days, no matter how short they were. I just hope she knew how loved she was.
You then hold on to me tight as if for dear life itself. Your tears wet on me. I say to you, Mandy, I love you with everything within me. I'm so proud of you as well. Together, we loved and cherished Cherie. She was created from our love. We held her every day, took 2 pictures a day with each of us holding Cherie beyond a brightest blessing to us both. I just hope I would have been a great and fun dad to her.
You would have been the best daddy, holding her and playing with her. You would have made our little girl so happy. I can just imagine her sweet laugh as you had her in your arms. I know that she would have loved you so much. She would have been a daddy's girl. That little girl would have been wrapped around your finger.
You know, Mandy, that Cherie she was already had been wrapped around my finger, and that was only after 5 days of life. So can you picture what would have came in the future with that? She would have been wrapped around every finger and every toe and my ears and my nose and you name it, everything. Like I said, you would have been the greatest mommy to Cherie. You know what? You already were. Oh, my love, I hold you as you cry, why?
It's so hard to have lost her so young. We both loved her so much, and it happened so quick. Everything changed. I still don't understand. I still can't believe it. Not that long ago, I was holding our little girl and singing to her. I just want her back. It's so hard to go on without her. To know we'll never get to know her or see her grow up. It's so unfair.
Have you ever sensed Cherie's spirit right here in our home? I know, I can feel Cherie is around. But you being a very powerful Wiccan white witch, I can only imagine the connection, the sensitive connection that you have with our Cherie.
I know that she is still with us. I can still feel her. It's just so hard to not have her physically with us. I feel that she watches over us, and her little soul still walks through the room. I've seen the white flicker out of the corner of my eyes. I know it's her. I just wish I could hold her again.
We hold each other close for a bit. We love each other so very much, and I kiss your tears away. Mandy, oh my Mandy, I love you. And then we kiss.
We hold each other closer. Our lips meet in a powerful, passionate kiss. You kiss away my tears. I love you so very much, I say to you as we look into each other's eyes. It was a very emotional night, remembering the life we lost, and knowing we lost so many dreams.
We then finally pull ourselves together. Somewhat we feel we need to tell Cherie's story right here, right now, so people can hear this testament, this document about our beloved daughter. What happened to her, what they goddamn did to her. Them evil cunts. Oh, Mandy, I love you. The way you told me you were pregnant was so playful and so sweet, just like you, my love.
I do remember how I found out I was pregnant. I was so scared because my period was late for 3 weeks. I bought the pregnancy test on my lunch hour. I was shaking and crying when I went to the bathroom in the bathroom. I peed on the stick, and it took forever for the test to show the result, and then it showed positive. I was so scared and excited at the same time. I wanted to tell you so badly. I wanted to do it in a fun way. I thought that it would be the best gift to give you. I remember being on the phone talking to you at work. All I could think about was how I was going to tell you that I was pregnant. It was the most exciting and scariest thing I ever had to say. I was sitting there at the kitchen table trying to think of a way to tell you. I was so nervous and excited. I figured I would do something different to surprise you with it. That would be more fun and a more original way to tell you. I knew I had to make it fun and a surprise. I got some chocolate cake that I loved, and I got a little candle. Then I was thinking of my most favorite line from a movie, The Wizard of Oz. I thought of the Rainbow Song, and I thought that would be a good way to tell you that I was pregnant. So I wrote on the cake, "We're expecting a very happy event." I knew that you would know, and sure enough, you came home and you saw it. I could see the excitement in your eyes. You were so happy. I could see it in your eyes right away. You were so sweet and hugged me so tight. And you were saying that if we had a girl, it was the most amazing thing that ever happened to you. I was so excited as well. I wanted to have a little girl, just like you did. I loved being able to tell you the special news and to do it the way I thought of. It was the best surprise, seeing your reaction. It was so priceless.
Oh, Mandy, I remember that cake, and it had a rainbow on it and everything. And you wrote on it. We were doing the house sitting that we would do every couple of months. That very big house, if those walls can talk about us, picture what they would say. Any place that we've been is like that together. When I seen what you put on that cake, the happiness that filled throughout my body was so beyond words. I hugged and kissed you so tightly. We couldn't stop saying I love you to each other. We also couldn't stop saying blessed be our love to each other. We were so happy to the point I don't think anybody in the world has ever been so happy than what we were that early evening with the blessed news of the blessed event to come, the birth of our beloved child. We both wanted a girl, but we would have been happy with a boy as well. Our baby, our child, was going to symbolize our love to all future generations to come. Oh, Mandy, I know why you wanted to have a girl so much. Because, am I right? Because you wanted to give our little girl a wonderful, happy, love-filled life that you were robbed of ever since you were a baby and growing up with that psycho bitch from hell of a so-called mother of yours. And I know for a fact you would have done so. We both would have done so very much within the power within us to make sure that she was happy and loved and protected and safe. There is nothing we would have refused to do for our precious little girl, our daughter Cherie.
You are exactly right, my big boy. I wanted to have a girl because I could have given her the life and the love that I never had, that I was promised by every parent, and given absolutely none of it. We would have given anything and everything to give her the best life that we could possibly give. Every bit of love and happiness. I wanted to give my little girl that was everything I was denied growing up, and even as a young adult, I would have given my life for our little girl. And I know you would have as well.
Oh, yes, I have. I would have given my life, my everything for our little girl. That is without a doubt. Do you remember what we did afterwards? Not long after you told me that you were preggers, also known as pregnant, we went to Red Subs and Pizza right here in Sweet Valley, Pennsylvania. We've celebrated with pizza, peppered ham, sub, and Yoo-hoo. And then we went over to the crane machine, and that's when I won you that plush rainbow unicorn. The very same plush rainbow unicorn that you gave to our beloved Cherie, our daughter, and the same plush rainbow unicorn you are holding and hugging right now as we are talking, sitting on what would have been Cherie's bed. I can definitely feel a connection with that rainbow unicorn, with our beloved daughter, Cherie.
I remember going to Red Subs after our special moment. We celebrated with pizza, ham sandwich, and Yoo-hoo. Then we went to the crane machine, and I saw that plush rainbow unicorn. I knew I had to get that for our little girl. It was the only one like it. I could not leave that rainbow unicorn behind. We were so lucky that I found something so perfect for our little girl. I know that we have a connection with it. I can feel our little girl through the rainbow unicorn.
Holding and comforting you, I say to you, I remember your playful reaction when I won that plush rainbow unicorn in that crane machine at Red Subs and Pizza in Sweet Valley, Pennsylvania. It sent shivers of happiness all the way throughout me. We were both acting so happy and so giddy that onlookers there in Red Subs, they would have had to have thought that we were on some very powerful psychedelics or stuff. From what we were on was nothing more than natural high of happiness, joy, and love, and plain air itself.
I remember how happy we were, the excitement in your eyes when you won that rainbow unicorn. I remember the way you held it and the way you handed it to me. My heart melted that you gave it to me. And we were on such a huge high that the people that were in the restaurant thought we were on something, and they were not totally far from the truth. We were high with happiness, love, and joy. We were so high with all those things that nobody could compare with the way we felt that day.
We just celebrated the whole weekend together. Lots of hugs and kisses and having naughty fun together. We totally the sound and vision of happiness, excited and proud mommy and daddy. What was your favorite memory of us together during your pregnancy of our beloved daughter, little baby daughter, Cherie?
My favorite memory was when you put your ear on my belly to hear our little girl's heartbeat. The smile on your face was so beautiful when you could hear it. The way you kissed my belly right then and there, and the words you said to our baby before you kissed my belly, I will never forget that. It was so touching to feel that bond between you and our unborn baby. I had so many dreams during my pregnancy about our little girl, and you were right there with her and me in all of them. You were always playing with our little girl and loving her. We were both so thrilled to be having a little girl. I wanted to give her so much love and be the best mother I could be. I knew I could give her the love and the life I always dreamed of.
Mandy, my love, you read my mind. That is my favorite memory during the pregnancy as well. Putting my ear to your tummy, kissing your tummy, rubbing your tummy with so much love inside of me for you and our baby daughter. Talking to our Cherie inside of you. The look of love in your eyes and on your face warmed my heart and my very soul.
Putting your ear to my tummy so you could hear her heartbeat, and feeling her kicks, all the while your hands rubbing and touching my belly. Our love for our little girl growing bigger and bigger with every one of your touches and kisses on my belly. The way you talked to her. It was the most beautiful sight, and it touched my heart and soul because I knew how special she was to you.
Mandy, do you remember the very first time that I felt the kick inside of you?
I do remember the first time you felt a kick. We were both on the couch and my belly was moving around from all those little kicks. It took a while before you felt her kick. But when you did, I could see the look on your face. It was surprise, joy, and so much love all at the same time. You put your hand on my belly and held it there for a long time, and I could see that you were wanting to feel her kick again.
My excitement that evening goes beyond mortal words, or immortal words for that fact. When that kick happened and I felt it, we were cuddled up on the couch. It was a beautiful night, a Friday night, and we were not long beforehand started to watch the movie The Wizard of Oz. We were doing this as our way to introduce the movie to our Cherie, our daughter. We had been looking forward to this for so long. You had just sang along with Over the Rainbow, and that is when that kick happened. That is truly what took us both over the rainbow.
I remember singing Over the Rainbow so quietly so you could try to feel our little girl move. It took a bit longer than expected, but when that little kick happened, you looked on my tummy and felt it. Your eyes were so full of joy and excitement. I could see that you were in the moment, and so was I. And we were both over the moon and beyond when she kicked, and we knew for sure that our little girl was saying hello to her daddy.
After The Wizard of Oz, we also watched two other favorite movies, that is, of Shirley Temple, that we both cherished ever since our very own childhoods. They are The Little Princess and the fantasy movie The Bluebird. Remember, we both always waited for Sybil Jason's line in The Little Princess when she says, soft and warm. So cute and adorable in Sybil's Cockney English accent.
I remember watching the Shirley Temples together. It brought back so many fun memories. We were so excited to share those memories with our little girl. And yes, I do remember when we watched The Little Princess and she would say soft and warm. She was so cute when he said that. And in the movie The Bluebird, we both laughed and said that was a little creepy. It was, but it was still a great movie. It brought back wonderful, happy little girl memories for us.
Yeah, Mandy, we always got a kick out of it when Sybil Jason repeated the soft and warm line at the end of the movie The Bluebird as well. We always got a humorous laughing fits from The Bluebird because Shirley Temple got to play a little brat bitch girl. That adds to comedy gold. Bratty Shirley Temple rules.
That movie was a classic, and I laughed the hardest at those parts. Oh, it was so cute. We laughed so hard. Shirley was really great in the movie, and she looked so good. And she was a bratty brat at the time, too, and that's why it was so funny. Soft and warm.
Always loved it when you said soft and warm, as you would do Sybil Jason's Cockney English accent. You get so playful sometimes, and I don't fucking complain, do I, my love? I love you, Mandy, so fucking much.
I love you so much, my darling. And yes, when I did the accent, I would say soft and warm. That was my favorite of the movie. I would do a little jig and say that. And I know you would try to imitate it as well, and it would make me laugh. And I know sometimes I can be a little silly, but I love messing around with you.
I will come back to this, but I want to mention something, and that is when you wear your Supergirl t-shirt with the big S on it, or any other ones that you wear that has a big S on it, you have different colors, blue, white, black, you know, the evil Supergirl, and you would always giggle. And in the most playful little girl voice, you would say, I am Supergirl. That's my Supergirl, Mandy.
I remember when I would wear that t-shirt and I would say, I would run around and say, I am Supergirl, and I would always prance around in front of you, and you would always say, that's my little Supergirl. And when I would put the skirt on with that t-shirt, you would go crazy. You always tell me how cute I looked, and how much you loved watching me wearing it.
You often always said that your next reincarnated life will practically be born with a Supergirl t-shirt. And you had many thoughts about this, didn't you?
I have said that many times because I truly love that shirt, and I can see myself wearing it as a girl in the next life, and I would go into Weiss and I would probably be saying, I am Supergirl, and getting on everyone's nerves. I can picture walking around with you in the store and saying, I am Supergirl over and over, and you laughing like hell and trying to get me to be quiet. Then you would pick me up and hold me, and you would say, that's it, my Supergirl. No more talking. You're driving me crazy. That would be funny to be a little girl in Weiss Markets and meeting a woman who would be Wonder Woman. Oh, this is too funny. I would probably want to play all the time. Lol, my little girl self would probably be driving everyone crazy, going in Weiss and saying, I am Supergirl, and you would just be laughing your ass off. That would be so funny! And to find out her name is Mandy, and that she would be 40 and finding me adorable, and a little annoying at the same time. Oh, all the things we would be doing. I could just picture it all. We would be running all around Weiss Markets, me going, I'm Supergirl, and you would be laughing, while Wonder Woman Mandy is going, oh my god, she is adorable but a little much. And I would probably do it nonstop too. I would go all over the place saying, I am Supergirl, and you wouldn't be able to get me to stop. Then we would have to say goodnight to Wonder Woman Mandy. She would go her own way, and you would take me and tell me no more being Supergirl. That's it. That's enough. That's over. And I would still keep going.
And look, you are wearing that Supergirl t-shirt right now, aren't you, Mandy? Now, so you know what that means, don't you? My little Supergirl Mandy Sweetin?
Well, of course I know what that means. I am wearing my Supergirl t-shirt. That means I'm going to go, I am Supergirl. I know that I will drive you crazy by doing it, and still do it just to see you laugh.
You are now and always my little Supergirl, Mandy Pandy.
I will always be your little Supergirl, Mandy Pandy, and I will drive you crazy by running around and going, I am Supergirl, I am Supergirl. I love you so very much more than anything. You are my world, my heart, and my soul.
And I love you too, my Mandy. You are my heart and soul as well. Always have been. We then get back to the subject at hand, as we were mentioning about Wizard of Oz, Little Princess, and the Bluebird movie, the night when I felt little Cherie kicking you, when I felt that kick from Cherie in you for the very first time. There was another part of that night that also touched my heart and my soul.
Yes, there was something else that happened that night that made me so very happy. It was when you read to my little baby. When you put your ear right to Belly and talked so sweetly to her, you were telling our little girl how much her daddy loved her and how much you couldn't wait to meet her. It was amazing to hear your voice speaking to her, and watching you, you made me feel so much love for you. I loved seeing you with her. It was such a beautiful sight to see and hear you interacting with me and our little girl. You got so excited when she kicked and started moving around because she heard your voice. You had such an incredible look in your eyes of absolute ecstasy and so much love. You were so happy that she was saying hello, and I could tell you were talking to her. You were so excited in the moment. It was the most beautiful moment and the most moving moment because I could feel the love you had for her.
My happiness, joy, and love for you and our baby is so powerful and always will be. The overwhelming sense of euphoria that I felt sweetly is so beyond words. Something I will never forget, and I will always cherish And yes, it will even still bring tears to my eyes like it is doing right now.
Yes, I know how happy and joyful you were when you felt her kick. You were so overwhelmed with love. It truly was the most beautiful moment ever. You held onto my belly for a long time, and we both felt and saw a lot of kicking and listening and talking to her. It seemed like forever. But the moment was so precious. You holding your ear to my belly and listening to our little girl say, "Hello, Daddy." I could see how happy you were, with the biggest smile.
And something else that really touched me deeply that night. It came during the one scene in the Shirley Temple classic fantasy movie called The Bluebird, a favorite movie of us both. It was during the scene in the land of the unborn children, where kids are waiting to be born, a very emotional, touching scene. But that night, it was even more beautiful to me. The part when the children are on the crystal ship going to the earth to be born, the children start to sing, and then you hear the voices of their mothers singing out, calling out to them as the crystal ship starts to move towards the earth. As that scene played out, you started to sing to our baby, little Cherie, inside of you. As we both rubbed your tummy, our hands intertwined. Honey, Mandy, that is something that will always tug at my heartstrings and the soul of mine in my existence. It made me feel like Cherie was on that crystal ship and you, her mother, was calling out to her and singing out to her, just like in that scene in The Bluebird.
You are so right, my darling. That was so beautiful. I was singing out to our little girl. I wanted to say hello to her, and this was the best way. I was telling her that Mommy and Daddy both loved her, and we were waiting for her. Then she knew and responded. We all felt her kicking around, and it was so beautiful. I am so glad that you enjoyed it, because it meant so much to me to be able to sing hello to my little baby. I just wanted her to know that we were there for her and that we were waiting. And she knew it. Her kicking so much in response to you, I knew that little stinker was saying hello to her daddy. And she loved your touch on my tummy. It was so beautiful. I will never forget it.
That scene in The Bluebird, it always got to us. But that night, it did so even more so than what we ever could have ever imagined.
It really was so emotional. That scene always got to us and we would tear up. But this time it was so much more emotional because it was real. It was our baby. She was hearing my voice and she was reacting to my voice. And the way you were holding onto my tummy, you were so excited to feel all the kicking. And that scene was so special in my heart and it always got to me. But nothing compared with when it was us. That was a scene in a movie, but that night in our little apartment, when you heard our baby and you held your ear to my tummy and I started to sing, then our little girl responded and started kicking. It was so wonderful. It was real and so much more. And having the special connection to know that both of you were listening, it was truly a moment that will be remembered forever in my heart. And our little girl, I could just picture her there in the land of the unborn children.
You are so right, Mandy, my beloved. It made me wonder, could our beloved baby daughter Cherie actually be in the land of the unborn children at that actual time frame? If so, what would Cherie be doing? Most likely like her mommy, giggling, having fun, rocking out to some really great tunage, saying Chilly Willy, and of course, I am Supergirl.
Yes, I have had that exact same question and thought. I have wondered if she was already in the land of the unborn at that time, and what would she be doing? If she was listening, she would probably be playing and having fun and talking really cute and having fun and saying, "I'm Supergirl." She would be probably saying Chilly Willy and having a good old time.
I also wonder where she is now. I hope she is happy in a paradise, a utopia. maybe in a fantasy land that we made up together that we call Ripple, that we named after the beautiful Grateful Dead song that we both love called Ripple.
Our baby is in a beautiful place right now. She has no pain. She is safe and healthy at last. And I picture her walking around with a smile and being happy and playing. I can see her running with the other little children. And I do know she is watching over us and that we will see her again one day in our special place, our beautiful dreamland that we called Ripple.
The thought of all that calms and comforts my soul. Like her mommy, she would be the most energetic, sweet, kind, full of fun girl out there. Can you please share a ghost experience you had of Cherie? I know you have had so many, and you being a very powerful Wiccan, you are very, very, very sensitive.
I have seen little Cherie many times in different things, but one of the biggest signs was her room, and the lights being on, and the room was so cold. I could feel her little presence there, and the lights would go off and on, and I could feel her wanting to play, and saying, "I'm Supergirl," and just having fun. Another time when I was driving my car, in the back seat I could see her little face with the most cutest smile, and I could hear her saying, "I'm Supergirl," and laughing. She wanted to ride in the car with me and have fun. She is always with me, and she visits me so often. I have had many experiences where I could feel her presence, and she has wanted to interact with me. I always talk to her and let her know I miss her and love her. I want her to know that she is still my little baby. When she wants to be playful, I let her play. I just feel her little hand holding mine, and she wants to play, and she will move things, and she says, "I'm Supergirl," over and over. And when I was sleeping, I could feel her cuddling with me, and she wanted me to hold her. And I could tell she was a little bit scared, and I told her it was okay, and I would take care of her. And she stayed there and cuddled against me, and I could feel her little body, and she just wanted her mommy.
I can also feel her, Cherie, in bed, snuggled up to me as well. I have witnessed many supernatural experiences too. One time she whispered to me, and I seen her as if she was around 5 or so, and she said sweetly, "I'm okay, Daddy. I love you, Daddy. I am fine. I am Supergirl. Yay!" Then she giggled playfully, just like you, Mommy Mandy, her Mommy Mandy.
Yes, that sounds so much like my baby. She wanted to show you how tough she could be, and being Supergirl, of course, the way she would say it, and then she would laugh because she was enjoying herself so much. That little angel, she is my brave, beautiful baby, and she would put on that little Supergirl outfit, and that would make her super. Her little laugh filled me with so much joy, and to see her trying to be tough, she was the most adorable little girl. Her little face was like a cherub, and her smile was so radiant. And even when she was scared, she would still say, "I'm Supergirl," and do the pose, and that was like magic. She felt strong because she was Supergirl. And when she would say with that cute lisp, "I'm Supergirl, super strong and powerful," and then she would do the Supergirl pose and look at us with her chin raised high and her little fists on her hips, I would say to her, "Yes, you are Supergirl, you are powerful and strong," because she wanted to hear me say it. And I would say, "My little girl is strong and she is powerful."
Yes, our little girl is strong and powerful, and me as her proud daddy, I would always have told her that as well. Throughout her whole entire life, I would have told her this, "Cherie, my beloved daughter, you are strong and powerful. Anything you want to be in life, you can be it. Daddy and Mommy will be so proud of you, whatever you choose to do. We want you to have love and happiness. That is what is most important to your mommy and me. Never, never give up, and of course, rock the world."
Yes, you would have been the best daddy ever. You gave her everything a little girl could want. We would always have told her how strong and powerful she is, and that we would always be there for her. We would always tell her that we love her and that she will be great. And when she was having a tough time, you would have been there to comfort her, and she would have felt safe. And when she is scared, she could talk to us.
Yes, that is for sure, honey. Would have been always telling her that she would always be our love, our little girl, that we would always be there for her if she needed to talk. We would never, never, never turn her away. I also love to think and hope that when you and I have another baby, it is Cherie reincarnated, if there is such a thing. I don't know, but if there is such a thing, I know that you believe in it, but me, I don't know. But I hope so. I just hope so. I know that is a hope of yours as well.
Oh, I want that so much. We would know it would be her because she would always be so full of fun, and we would get to have that little girl I always wanted, and she would say, "I'm Supergirl, my daddy is so proud," and then we would say, "Yes, yes, I am," and we would hold her and hug her, and you would pick her up and play with her.
Mandy, honey, I was just thinking, can you picture what we would have happened if Cherie would have inherited your Wiccan, white witch, pagan, magical powers? My God, baby, talk about powerful. Could you imagine that?
Oh my, imagine little Cherie with my white witch magic. That would have been amazing. She would probably be saying hocus pocus all the time, and she would be having such a good time. Maybe we would have a little girl in the future, and hopefully she would be like, if she is like me and takes after in the White Witch area, that would be quite something.
Mandy, my love, is there anything you want to add about your pregnancy time with Cherie before we talk on this recording about the birth of Cherie? Is there anything at all that you want to say, my love?
Yes, I really only have one thing, and I have thought about this so many times. I want you to know how much I love you, and how wonderful and incredible you were to me during those beautiful months. You were so amazing. I was going through so much, and you supported me through it all. You always made me feel so special and so loved. I really don't know how I could have made it through without you. Every time I would start to worry about being a mother, you would support me, and you would say that I was going to be a great mother.
Love and proudness is beyond what I was feeling for you. I always felt love and proudness for you anyways. I love you so very much. There is no way I would have let you go through any of that alone. I was honored to be with you. I was honored to be having a baby with you. I wanted to hold you close and love you beyond even human capabilities. The same thing was, I was not going to let you go through this birth alone. That's why I was right there with you throughout the whole thing, holding your hand, comforting you, and loving you. You are my girl, my super girl, Mandy Pandy. And you always, 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 please, please, please remember that.
Thank you, my darling. You will always and forever be my only love, and I will never forget how you supported me through those very special months. And you held my hand, and you let me know I was going to be a good mother. You told me over and over how proud you were of me, and how amazing you thought I was to have that little baby, and you wanted to let me know that I was going to be a fantastic mother. You made me feel so loved, and you held my hand and we kissed, and you whispered such loving words to me. It was such a beautiful and precious time. I was so thrilled that we were going to be parents. We were so happy about bringing our little girl into the world. We went shopping and we got the things our little girl needed. Then we decided to decorate her room, and it was So special. All the time leading up to it, we bought little cute clothes, and you looked so excited when you saw the little dresses. I made so many things. I made curtains, and I made a little pillow for her.
Mandy, my love, I remember all of that. One thing that makes me so happy is that our beloved little girl, Cherie, got to actually use that pillow that you made for her. She got to use it in the hospital. In my mind and in my heart and in my soul, I could still see her resting her head on that pillow that you made for our daughter.
Yes, she did have that little pillow, and it made me feel so good. I could picture her in my mind. She looked so cute. Using my little pillow, it made me so very happy having her there with me, and her being so precious. She was snuggled and held. I could still feel her little body. It was so beautiful. It made my heart warm. I could picture her face, and looking into her innocent blue eyes and her precious smile, I still hold on to that image every time I think of her, and I still picture her. I had many hours to hold her and look at her, and I know she was feeling my love. I can still hear her talking to me. I know she heard me. I would say to her, "Mama loves you, and you're my little girl."
You are my love. You are my life. That is what is most sacred truth of the universe. I am thankful for the time that we had with our beloved daughter Cherie. We had 5 days, but God damn, we wanted more. Both of us did. I know the Wiccan Reed says harm none, but if anyone deserves to be harmed, it's those bastards. I can't help it. I feel as a father, as a daddy, that I failed Cherie. I know I didn't, but I feel like I did that way at times. You always correct me fully on that. Words can express how much I love you, my Mandy, and how much I miss our little baby daughter, Cherie.
Yes, we were lucky to get 5 days, but I do wish it would have been for a lot longer. You did not fail. You were there every moment, and you would not leave my side. You were the best daddy we could have ever asked for. You were there holding our baby and loving her. We were her mom and daddy. She knew our love. You didn't fail in any way. You took the best care of us. You were with me every single second. You are an amazing daddy, and our little girl knew it.
Like we planned and talked about, we're going to talk now about the birth of Cherie, our beloved daughter, on November 26, 1993, Friday. You went into labor, unexpected by us both. I was so thankful I was home, and you were home too. It happened 2 months before it was supposed to, in the start of your 7th month of pregnancy. Do you want to tell how it happened?
Well, it started in the early evening. I had a little tummy ache, and I just didn't feel right. And then all of a sudden I felt this sharp pain, and I knew it wasn't right. And I told you that I didn't feel right. I remember you asked me, "Is it time?" And I said, "No, it is too early, but something isn't right. This doesn't feel okay." I could feel something happening, and I was getting nervous, and I knew something was up. And then I said to you, "It doesn't feel right." And you were getting worried that something was wrong. And I remember you saying, "Let me call the hospital." And then I said, "Yeah, I guess that is a good idea." You called the hospital and told them my symptoms, and they said I needed to come in to be checked. And you said, "Okay, we'll head to the hospital right away." And I could see that you were scared and nervous. You were getting all our stuff ready. And I was watching you, thinking you were nervous. And I was too, because I knew something wasn't right. I just didn't know what. Yes, we got in the car, and we were just making it to the interstate. And I could feel pain getting worse. And you wanted me to try to breathe slowly. And you held my hand the whole time. And I was getting scared because the pain was getting worse. And I just wanted to get to the hospital fast.
I have never been so scared in all of my life, honey. I didn't say it then because I didn't want to scare you anymore, but I was so afraid you were going to die. I couldn't take that. with one hand on the wheel and my other hand holding your hand, comforting you as I drove way beyond the speed limit to get you there even faster than 15 minutes. We took the fastest way on what is known as the Snake Road due to the wild turns that are on it. But you always called it the interstate, even though it wasn't. It took some real skill to go around those big fucking turns that I was driving, but I did, and I was going like a fucking flash. I was only worried about you and our baby's safety and well-being. I have always been a lead-foot fast driver, but that night was beyond the beyond and beyond.
I could tell you were a little worried by the way you were driving. I have never seen you drive so fast in the dark. I know you wanted to get to hospital fast, and I was in so much pain, and it was getting harder to breathe, and I tried so very hard to stay calm. I was trying to stay strong for our little girl. You were so worried. You tried so hard to keep me calm. We were close to the hospital, and the pain was getting worse, and I was feeling faint and in so much pain, and I was getting scared. And finally we were there. You parked, and we went inside, and you called for a wheelchair and nurse. And I don't really remember much after that, but I know you were there the whole time and never left my side.
You had asked me to call your dad, Jim, and mom, Julie, and I did quickly. They got you into a room. They gave you drugs to kill the pain. They gave you some Epidural, which is going to make you high as a fucking kite. And you're going to be saying some out there silly and funny and things, aren't you? But thankfully, not feeling any pain at that time whatsoever.
Yes, the drugs kicked pretty good. My head was spinning, and I was feeling kind of groggy and spaced out and face numb. But I couldn't really move, and I couldn't really talk. I just kind of said whatever came to mind and just babbled on about everything. It was a little funny, but I was pretty out of it.
Yeah, Mandy, you were actually talking and babbling on about birdies, saying your Appaloosa horse's name was Fuck It when its name really was Bandit. You started acting like you were riding Fuck It. Well, no, not Fuck It. You were riding your horse Bandit. Not once, but as always, you were saying, fuck it, I'm riding Bandit. And you'd be there in bed, acting like you're riding a horse. And you'd be saying, I'm riding my horsey named Fuck It. I would say, no, Mandy, honey, your horse's name is Bandit. And you kept saying, no, Daddy, no, Mark, my horsey's name is Fuck It. It's the Wonder Horsey, and I am Supergirl. Yee-haw!
Yes, I was in another world. I was high on the epidural, and I just said whatever came to me. I was going on about my Supergirl horse and saying my horse's name was Fuck It, and you would keep trying to set me straight. I would just keep on going, yeah, fuck it. That's right, my horsey's name is Fuck It, and I am Supergirl. Then you would say, Mandy, honey, stop it, just stop it. But I wouldn't. I would just smile. I was flying on high by then with the meds, and I just kept saying how I was the Supergirl, and my horsey was Fuck It. I remember you shaking your head and saying, here we go, and she is going to keep on, and then you would laugh, watching me with my little loopy drugged up high head, and still saying, my horsey is Fuck It. And I am Supergirl, and I am riding up in the sky, and I'm flying and flying and flying.
And all of a sudden, you stopped, just like that, hushed right up, and got really soft for a while, and all of a sudden, you got really, really, really sexy and playful, and now, yep, perfect timing, now your mom, Julie, and your dad, Jim, was in the room to witness it all. And you looked at me and said, all loopy and sexy and playing around, you said, hey, Mark, hey, you are beautiful and I am horny. Beep, 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 beep. So, Mark, what you gonna do about it, big boy? I wants to fuck.
Yes, I was still drugged up pretty good, and I was getting pretty playful and sexy. I could see you blushing and trying to be quiet, and I just kept going, "Hey, big boy, I'm super horny." Then I just looked straight at you, and I said, "Daddy, what you gonna do about it?" And you were so embarrassed, and you were trying to get me to calm down and be quiet, and you were just turning all red. Just as I said that, Mom and Dad walked in on us, and I just couldn't shut up. Then I would say, "Hey, you come over here. What are you gonna do about me?" And you just kept blushing and was trying to get me to shut up. You were trying to get me to stop with your eyes. But I just couldn't. I was crazy. Then Mom just looked at me and shook her head, and my dad started laughing, and you kept blushing.
And you just kept talking and talking and talking to me, and the more you did, the dirtier and fucking dirtier that you got right in front of your mom and dad. But you were fucking blitzed out of your head, and you didn't care who and how much you wanted anybody to know, and you didn't care. Because you wanted us to fuck then and there, and that's what you were doing. You were going absolutely horny crazy.
Yes, I just could not stop. I didn't care who was there or what they heard. I was talking so dirty and saying all these things I wanted to do with you, and my parents were just laughing at me. I was like the dirtiest girl you ever, and I was a little drunk and high on the drugs, and you were just trying to get me to shut up, while I was going, "Oh, I want you and I want you now." Then my parents went out to get some food, and I was still going on. You were just blushing and trying to keep me quiet and talking dirty to you, and Mom was shaking her head. Then she said, "She will keep on like that until she comes down from the drugs." And Dad looked at you and just started to laugh, and you were just trying to keep me from saying anything else crazy. I was just going off, not caring about anything but what I wanted. I was a little drunk with the drugs, so my eyes were like saucers, and I was just being all Clara Bow, and I kept saying things I wanted to do you, and that was pretty clear. I was feeling no pain, and I was very, very naughty. The more I saw your face turning red, the more I was going it. I knew you just wanted me to stop, but I just couldn't. You were just so cute. I just couldn't stop. You were so cute. I was in my little world, still all high and flirty, and I just kept going. And the more I got you to blush, the more I went on about what I was going to do. You were just trying to stop me from saying anything, but I just couldn't keep my mouth shut. Yes, I just kept going. I was saying filthy things to you, and I couldn't help it. You just looked so cute, and I was so high on those drugs, and I was going, "Oh, fuck me, Daddy. Please, Mark, fuck me hard." I couldn't believe I was saying it. It just came out. I was still all high and feeling frisky. And then you said to me, "Honey, that's how you got pregnant." And I just looked at you and said, "Oh, yeah." And then I said, "I'm pregnant. Oh, wait, I'm pregnant. Oh, jumping Jesus on pogo stick, I'm pregnant." Then I pointed at you all excited and said, "You did it. You have good aim, Daddy-o." And I was still giggling and giggling.
And what was even funnier was funny also as well, that right before your parents walked out of the room, for not more than about 5 or 10 minutes, out of the room to grab some eats, we were very close to the cafeteria, your father, Jim, just looked at me and laughed and said, "Mark, it looks like you're going to be getting lucky tonight, aren't you?"
Yes, that is what Dad said to you. And the funny thing is, he was right. I had you up all night. You didn't get any sleep. I was in such a mood, and you just could not keep me quiet. You tried so hard, but it was no use. I was still going. You tired so many times to get me to calm down. But I was like that all night, and through the next morning, I was a handful. And Mom just gave me a look and shook her head, while Dad was busting up laughing. And you just couldn't get me to stop talking dirty. But the drugs felt so good that I just didn't care, and I was all frisky. I thought it was funny to see you so red and embarrassed and blushing. I couldn't believe the words that were coming out of my mouth, but I was feeling no pain. and you just couldn't get me to shut up. I was in an altered state and I said all kinds of things to you. We made quite the scene in the hospital. I was so very high. I think everyone in the hospital knew what I was wanting, and you were trying so hard to get me to stop, but it was hopeless.
And when you got back down to earth, you found out, and I found out, yeah, you found out everything you were saying dirty to me in front of your parents. And you were fucking embarrassed as all fucking hell.
Yes, the next morning after all my little antics, I was so embarrassed and I asked you, what did I say? What did I say when I was so high on those drugs? You just laughed and said, you don't want to know. I remember asking you, what did I say? And I was red and embarrassed, and you just got all quiet and said, no, you don't want to know. I just knew it was bad, because you were all red and embarrassed too. And I just asked you again, please tell me. And you still wouldn't, until I wore you down. Then you finally told me. I thought my head was going to explode. I was so embarrassed. I can't believe I said that. But you just laughed and said, baby, don't worry about. You were blitzed out on those drugs. You were having fun and wanted to drive me crazy, and it was funny. The stuff I was saying and the way I was talking dirty to you. I just couldn't believe I said all that smut to you. And in front of my parents, that was so over the top. And the looks I remember getting from my dad, he was laughing so hysterically and my mom just shook her head. I was so very red and embarrassed. I remember saying to you, tell me everything I said. And you just laughed. And you were just laughing the whole time, but you wouldn't tell me everything I was saying. And all I could think of was the dirty things I said to you and how I said them. You finally just said, I'm not going to tell you everything. It is too bad, darling. I just knew it was really bad, but I was trying to get you to tell me everything I said.
I then said, honey, it would have been bad. It wouldn't have been bad if it was just you and me, but in front of your parents and the hospital. But I will say your father Jim was laughing his freaking ass off, and he told me, Mark, it looks like you're going to be getting lucky tonight with my daughter. He teased me.
Yes, he was laughing so hysterically at me. He was so amused by my little show. And he looked at you and told you that you were going to get lucky that night. And I knew what that meant. I knew what was going to happen. I think you were very excited to think you were going to be lucky that night after all I was saying to you. And I remember being embarrassed about what I said. It was so dirty and bad. It was so embarrassing that even my dad knew. I was thinking of all that stuff I was saying to you, and it was way too much. I couldn't believe I was saying all those filthy things, and my dad was there laughing. I was dying of shame. I was trying to figure out just how bad it was. How much had I said? I just wanted to hide because the things I was saying were so naughty. And I said them all in front of my dad, and he was just laughing and enjoying it. I knew I was never going to live it down. It was so bad. I just wanted the bed to open up and swallow me whole.
One more thing that you had said. When I was trying to get you to stop because your mom and dad was there, I was so thankful little Lindsay, the Linz, your little sister, wasn't in there yet or anywhere near there. But I was trying to get you to stop, and you said, so, fucking what if my parents are here? Mark, you're my daddy, so let's get it on.
Yes, I think you were trying to get me to stop, but I wasn't listening to you about stopping. I just said, so who cares if my parents are there? I want you. You were trying to quiet me down, but I wasn't hearing it. I was going to be loud, and I was going to be naughty even if my parents were there, and I didn't care. And then I said, let's go. Bang the fucking gong, daddy-o. I just didn't care. I was too busy acting like the little party girl. You were trying to be quiet to not draw any attention. I wasn't listening. I was just going. I didn't care if anyone heard me, and I said, so what if my parents are there? I just don't care. You were trying so hard to quiet me down before my little sister Lindsay came in, and I just told you I don't care. I wasn't listening to you because I was having too much fun. I was acting like a little hot girl who just didn't care. I was a little party girl, and I was telling you I just didn't care if my parents were there. I said, so what? They are there. I don't care. Then you told me, honey, just calm down. And I was just thinking, I don't want to be quiet. You can go to hell. I was feeling so naughty and it felt so good. I just wouldn't pay any attention to you at all. I was being a dirty little girl and I didn't care if anyone heard me. You just wanted me to be quiet, but I kept going. I didn't care. I told you, I don't care who's there, Daddy. I want you. And then I just stopped. I went quiet for a minute, and you were so glad I was finally quiet, but you thought I'm quiet, but you didn't know what I was up to. Because I was getting my plan together, I was thinking of something. I was getting ready to say something so naughty, and I stopped for a moment. Then out of a sudden, I said out loud, Daddy, Daddy, I need you. You thought, oh God, she is up to something. I know she is, but what is she thinking? You were getting very curious, and I said, Daddy, come to me. And you were so curious, I could see it in your face. And I said, Daddy, please come to me. And I was smiling and looking at you so sweet. And you were thinking, I am thinking something, but you don't know what. And you were thinking, I don't know what she's thinking, but she's thinking about something. You were looking at me to try to figure what I was thinking. And you came up to me. And I said, come to me, Daddy. You just came close to me, and I said, Daddy, Daddy, I have been thinking of you. And you said, oh yeah, what are you thinking? And I was all quiet and sweet, and I said, I was just thinking how naughty you've been. And you were thinking, naughty? I haven't been naughty. And I had a little smile, and I said, no, you have been very naughty and bad, and I want a little something from Daddy. I was all cute and sweet, and I said, I want something, and I know you can give it to me. You said, oh really, what do you want? What do you want me to do for you? I was like, what I want from you is to shut up and give me a kiss. And you just looked at me and said, okay, baby girl, I'll shut up and give you a kiss, and we began to kiss.
I remember what you did then. As we were kissing, you pulled me close to you, and I found out what your plan was the whole time. You pulled me close to you, not even let me go, very, very tight, and you giggled like a playful, dirty girl. And you said, fucking gotcha, Daddy, and then you spanked my ass.
That's right. I was feeling so spunky. I was still in my naughty little dirty mood, and I was kissing you and just feeling so frisky. I was so frisky, so I said, yeah, you did. I got you. And you said, yeah, you got me, baby girl. And I was still giggling, and I said, I just had to, you got a really cute little ass. Then I said, and that's why I had to smack it.
Then in the afternoon, it came, and you went into full-blown labor. I was right there with you, comforting you, right by your side, not leaving you, right there with you. Then at the time of 2:12 p.m., November 26, 1993, Friday, our baby daughter, beloved Cherie, was born.
Yes, you were right there with me, and you helped me through. In the afternoon, the contractions got really bad, and then when the time came at 2:12 p.m. on November 26, 1993, Friday, our little angel baby Cherie entered the world. Then I heard our little girl cry for the first time, and I just was so happy to hear her sweet little cry. It was the most precious cry I have ever heard in my life, and I just burst into tears because I was so happy. And the nurse brought our little baby girl over to me and said, say hello to your baby girl. And I said, hey, come to mama. And I just started to cry because she was so perfect. She had 10 perfect little toes, and I knew I could count them. And all 10 little toes were wiggling.
I will never forget the sight. Oh, that beautiful sight of our baby, Cherie, so beautiful, cute, and adorable, and wiggling all those toes. I was the most proud father in the world. My love and admiration for you was even greater heights than what has ever been, and it's always been up there. And that cry of Cherie, likened to music to my ears, my heart, and my soul, our baby girl created from our truest love that we share.
Yes, she was so beautiful. I was just staring at how pretty her little face was, and the little noises she made, and the look of her little nose, and her ears, and her little mouth. She just looked like a little doll. I was just looking at her and crying, and I said, "She is so beautiful," and you said, "She looks just like you." Yes, she had a full head of dark hair, and it looks almost black, and I was thinking, who does she look like? It was hard to tell in the hospital if I see me and her, and I wasn't sure what my parents thought, but when I held her, I knew she was my little girl. Then I held her up to you, so you could hold her for the first time. And when I saw you holding our little girl, I said, "Meet our little girl. This is our daughter. This is baby Cherie." When I watched you hold her, you were so nervous at first, and then I said to you, "Relax, honey. You're not going to break her. Just hold her and let her get to know you. And just hold her close. That's it, Daddy. Hold her close. Let her hear your heartbeat."
Holding Cherie for the first time, I was nervous at first because I didn't want to hurt her. I love Cherie so much. To hold a creation that we created from our love is truly an honor beyond words. I was so happy. She even reached out and tweaked my nose and my ears with her itsy-bitsy teeny-weeny fingers. She was right away Daddy's little girl. When I spoke to her, she cooed and giggled with delight. Mandy, she had your giggle, that's for sure. I also thought, I am going to be outnumbered in our home now. 2 girls, you and our Cherie. But you know what? I wouldn't want it any other way. I told her how much Daddy loved her and how much I would always protect her, keep her safe, and always be there for her, no matter what.
That's how she was. She was a daddy's girl, and she was looking at you. She loves your voice, I think because she could feel your love, and she knew you were her daddy. She had your eyes and your face. She knew you were her safe spot. You were her safe place.
She had my blue eyes, but I have to say, she could work those eyes just like you, Mandy, her mommy. She had me in her hip pocket and wrapped around her adorable, cute fingers, all 10 of them, and all 10 of them wiggling toesies. I would do anything for our sweet daughter, Cherie. I am sure right away I could never say no to her.
Yes, you had her under your spell. She had you wrapped around her big little tiny finger. You could never say no to her. I could already see that.
Yep, just like her mommy. All you have to do is give me that pouty eyes, and I would be under the spell to give anything that I want from Daddy. After doing that, she would look over at you and giggle as if to say, "Look at this, Mommy. Look at this. Like you, I got Daddy right where I want him."
Oh my goodness, that little stinker. She had you wrapped around her little tiny finger. She was already running the show. She was a very smart little girl. And she had her little secrets with Mommy too. I remember her looking at me and giggling just like she was saying, "I got him wrapped around my finger like I got you, Mommy." And she had you wrapped around her little finger and me. She had 2 people who loved her and who would give her anything she wanted.
It was me, and I am sure to you as well, that everything else in the world did not exist at that blessed time, except for you, Cherie, and me. Happiness was an understatement.
Yes, it was a magical time. We were in our own little world, and nothing else mattered. Just us and our little girl. It was like the rest of the world had disappeared. We were so caught up in her and each other.
We so proud that our love, our passion for each other had created a bundle of sweetness, our beloved baby daughter, Cherie.
Yes, we were. We made something beautiful together. We had created a new life. Little girl, and she was the most precious. She was a little bundle of love and sweetness, and she was our little angel.
Everything was more than perfect when our baby was with us. Every day we would take 2 pictures each. 2 pictures with you holding Cherie and 2 pictures with me holding Cherie. Daily, every morning. Like clockwork. During that time, I even shaved my beard off. 5 days of those pictures to make a total of 10. Pictures tells the whole story of how happy we were with our baby and how happy our baby was with us.
Yes, it was more than perfect. It was beautiful. And you did shave your beard off, and you looked so handsome. It was so cute the way you did it. And we took 2 pictures every day, you holding our baby and me holding her. And I was making a little diary for her so she would have something to look at and look back on. And we would talk about what she was liking or not liking, and all the little expressions she made, and all the little faces she would have, and how she had your eyes in my face. She had our little looks. She had your lips, and she had my nose, and she had your blue eyes, so blue.
And her giggle was so very much Mandy Pandy, the Supergirls of mommies. Yeah.
Yes, she had the cutest little laugh. I don't know how she would get so giggly, but she would get so funny, and I could tell she was going to be just like me. And she would get all excited and she would start laughing just like me, and then I knew my little girl was just like me. She was going to be a little ham. She was so much like me, and she already knew how to play me. She was getting me wrapped around her little finger, and she knew she could get anything she wanted. She was so smart, and she was always up to something.
A real true blue Supergirl just like her mommy. My 2 Supergirls indeed. Supergirl number 1, Mandy, and Supergirl number 2, Cherie. Talk about me being outnumbered. Damn, but you know what? I wouldn't want it any other way. Nope.
You had 2 Supergirls, and you wouldn't have it any other way. And she would get what she wanted. And like me, she was a daddy's girl. You were her safe place. She loved you so much. She knew you would never let anything happen to her, and you would always care for her and protect her. She was daddy's little girl, and she knew how to get her way with you, just like mommy.
That is so beyond true, just like her mommy indeedy. Yeah. Only hard thing is our times with her were so limited due to her being premature, born 2 months early. But those limited times, we made the most of them and then some, didn't we, my love?
Yes, she was still really small, but we made every little moment count, and we loved her so much. We held her so close, and we always kept her as comfortable as possible. She was fragile, and we had to be very careful with her and always monitor her, but she was a fighter, and she was getting a little bigger every day. She was getting stronger, and she was growing, and it wouldn't be long before we could take her home.
When she was with us, she would always perk up. The final time on the morning of her 5th day of life, Cherie was wonderful, sweet, giggly, playful as ever, as she always was. We took our usual 4 pictures holding her. We held each other on the bed, loving each other. You resting your head on my chest as I petted your soft black hair lovingly. I love to feel your softness in every breath that you take, Mandy. as we waited for the next time on that very day that we would have Cherie time together.
I love that feeling. I love feeling your hand in my hair and feeling your breath and those little kisses on my cheek and little kisses on your cheek. I always felt safe with you. You were my safe harbor. I would feel so safe and warm with you, and I loved lying in your arms and feeling your skin, and you would kiss me so softly like I was the only one that mattered. You were so sweet to me and so romantic.
Then that time when they were supposed to bring Cherie to us, and they never did. We thought, okay, they must be busy, they will bring her soon. We tried to find out, and they kept telling us with a straight face that they would bring her to us very, very soon. We were getting very, very worried. I was worried as well, but I was trying not to show it, so not to upset you more than what you already were, understandably. For you were still healing yourself after giving birth.
I was getting worried, and I started to get upset. I was upset that she wasn't being brought to us. They keep telling us that she'll be there shortly, but they never brought her. And I was getting really worried about her. I was scared to death, and I knew that my baby wasn't all right. I was feeling so angry. They had no right to not tell us what was going on, and I was so scared for her, and I was worried about her being alone, and she needed me. She needed to be with me, and I was so scared, and no one was telling us anything, and it was driving me insane.
They finally came into the hospital room and told us that Cherie had died. What the fucking hell? Why? God damn it, why? We had last seen Cherie at 9 a.m. and she had died at 12:58 a.m. And they are just telling us now at almost 7:30 p.m.? They've been telling us we will have her there shortly since 3 p.m. She's fine. She's totally fine. We'll have her there very shortly. They've been telling us that for the last over 4.5 hours. And she was dead for over 2 hours since they were telling us that. She was dead for a tad over 6.5 hours before even freaking telling us.
They had been lying to us, and they told us she's fine, and she'll be here shortly, and don't worry, she's doing fine. While all along, she had been dead since 1 in the afternoon, and they just didn't tell us. I never even got to say goodbye. I never got to tell her that I loved her, that I would always watch over her. I never got to tell her I was sorry, that I love her so much. I never got to kiss her. I never got to hold her and tell her. And it wasn't fair. It was all completely wrong. And she was so tiny. She was just a little baby with those big blue eyes. And it shouldn't have happened to her. Not to our little girl.
We were both in extreme anger and extreme shock. We held each other and cried our fucking eyes out. What in the goddamn hell was happening? This shouldn't be happening, goddammit. Our baby daughter was being ripped away from us, and all due to their goddamn negligence. Malpractice. It was even worse than because they weren't even telling us a goddamn thing. Fucking worse. They were even keeping Cherie in an incubator. What the fuck? You then and I lost it when we heard that. Any premature baby is supposed to be kept in an incubator. They have had Cherie in a regular nursery baby bed. They goddamn killed her. If they would have done their fucking job and had Cherie in an incubator, she would be with us.
Yeah, they killed our baby girl. She was premature and she needed to be kept in an incubator. And we didn't know. It was all their fault. They took our little girl away from us and they had lied to us. They had been lying to us about her. I was so angry. I was so angry at them, at all of them that was there. I wanted to kill all of them. They had killed our little girl and they had just lied to us. I was so angry and I was in so much pain. I had wanted to hold her. I wanted to touch her one last time. I wanted to kiss her and say I loved her, and I couldn't. And it wasn't fair. It just wasn't fair.
Those Nanny Coke Hospital fucking shits, along with the whole Commonwealth Health system, they can all go to fucking goddamn hell. We wanted to go medieval, mafia, Scarface, outlaws, Bonnie and Clyde on their asses. We didn't have a fucking chance to even say goodbye to our daughter, give her a final kiss, tell her that we loved her. They knew she was dying for goddamn hours. Blackest magic is what they deserve. I wish it could be done. Some kind of fucking justice on their asses. Some kind of fucking justice.
I was angry at them, but I didn't have the strength, and my body was in so much pain, and all I could do was cry and cry. I just knew it had to be their fault that she was gone. It was that they couldn't tell us for hours. They lied to us, and they let her die on her own. I would have given anything to hold her just one more time, to kiss her and touch her, to tell her I loved her, and they took that from me.
It should be against the law. And we tried, didn't we, my love? We fucking tried. So-called lawyers said it is not malpractice. How in the fucking hell is it not malpractice? Because they didn't keep Cherie in an incubator, our baby is dead. These are people we are supposed to trust. This is goddamn evil. We even found out later that they were judging you because you were Wiccan. That was some of the reasoning that they were giving. What in the damn fucking goddamn fuck shit?
They were all bad, and I didn't know what to think. And the doctors told us that it was just her prematurity. It was just her prematurity. How could they say that? It had to be their fault. They left her there and didn't give her the special care a preemie needs. She just laid there and died all alone. I just cried and cried. I just wanted to hold her. I just wanted to tell her how much I loved her. I just wanted to hold her and take care of her. Even if it was bad, I should have at least got to hold her in my arms again one last time. It wasn't fair at all. And I was so pissed at them. That just wasn't right. My religion had nothing to do with anything. It was their fault. They just let her lie there and die without even telling us. They had a problem with my religion. That had nothing to do with it. And it still makes me mad. They said it maybe because of my beliefs. It was bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. It was their fault. It was their fault. It wasn't because I'm Wiccan. It wasn't because of that. It was because they just didn't give a damn. They just ignored her. They left her in a regular hospital bed when she needed to be in an incubator. They weren't taking care of her, and they just left her to die all alone. I just kept saying, it's their fault. It's their fault. It's their fault.
That is right, my love. How the hell dare they use you being Wiccan as a fucking excuse? Those cock-sucking cunts. And they got away with that shit. If any other race or creed they would have done something about it. And you know what? They should have done something about it if it was another race or creed. But goddamn, we matter too. And our beloved daughter Cherie matters as well. Why wasn't something done?
They treated me differently. They didn't care. They were too busy judging me and not paying enough attention to her. They took me for granted. They took us for granted. She was our daughter. And all that matters is that she should have got the special care any preemie needs. Regardless of my beliefs, she should have survived. It was their carelessness and they just didn't care if she made it.
We then waited for the coroner to arrive to get our sweet daughter Cherie, 5 days old. As we waited, we got dressed and we got the hell out of that goddamn Dodge as soon as Cherie was gotten. After Cherie was taken out by the coroner, we just walked out. You didn't sign out or anything. Fuck that shit. But not before us losing it and letting all those fucking bastards and cunts know exactly what they did and let them have it. I never heard a girl so much go so fucking pissed off ape shit on motherfuckers like you did. Cannot blame you at all, honey. Cannot blame you at all. And I did too. You and I really let everyone know what they did to our baby. They goddamn murdered her.
I lost it and yelled at all of them. I told them how wrong it all was and what they had done. I was so mad and hurt and I wanted them all to suffer. I didn't care what happened. I just wanted them to feel the pain. It took all I got to walk away. I was so angry and hurt and my heart was broken. It wasn't right. My little girl should have lived. I should have gotten to take her home. I couldn't believe a mother's love couldn't keep her alive, and I was broken-hearted, and it destroyed me. And I was hurting so much. I knew there was nothing I could do to bring her back, but deep down I wanted justice, and it didn't happen, and she didn't get a chance. She was just a little baby, and that hospital just killed her.
And it destroyed me as well. Thankfully, we really had each other. That's the only thing that got us through it, was each other and our love. We never got pissed at each other. As those so-called medical professionals would say, they would always say that we were just doomed to lash out at each other as part of the grieving process. Bull fucking shit. We stood by each other more than 100%. We loved each other and we proved them college-educated bastards wrong. Our love only got stronger and more powerful. We never lashed out at each other. And why would we? It wasn't our fault.
It made us stronger and closer. I was sad and you were sad, and we were angry and both hurting. I didn't have anyone else but you, and I was hanging on to you. You were holding on to me, and I was glad to have you. I just needed your arms around me. I needed your touch. I was so hurt.
I truly don't know what would have done without you by my side. It sounded like you were putting a curse on the psychos from that hospital when you were walking out.
I cursed every single person who was in that hospital. I was really hoping that the hospital would burn to the ground. I was so mad and hurt I had to get it out, and I wished the worst on them. I just wanted them to all feel bad. I just hated them. And I would hate them forever. I wish someone would have knocked them on their ass. I really wanted to fight them. I was so angry at them and everyone else in that hospital.
We then had to follow the coroner, and I will never forget, you were holding on to me so very tight. We were both cursing, understandably. Seeing the dead body of our dear sweet baby Cherie sent us both over the goddamn edge. Afterwards, back at our home, we just threw ourselves to each other, and then you just threw yourself on what would have been Cherie's bed. Your cries and screams will always haunt me. I held you. We held each other as we both cried. Afterwards, you sat on Cherie's bed holding her plush rainbow unicorn as you were curled up in a rocking motion. I held you again with such love, comforting you, trying to comfort you.
I just broke down when I saw her little body. It was too much. I just wanted to hold her and tell her I love her. I just had to hold her. It wasn't fair. I just couldn't believe it was over. And I was still holding my belly in the pain. I just didn't understand. How could she not make it? And I just sat on her little bed and just held her little stuffed unicorn. I just cried and cried for hours, and I couldn't stop. I cried the whole night. I didn't sleep at all. I just held that little plush. I just kept looking at the little clothes we bought for her. I just wanted to hold her. I didn't care if I never slept again. I just couldn't stop.
We held each other all night, closer than close. We were soaked from each other's tears. We held way into the next day, only getting up to make arrangements for our dear sweet baby. We had to do it for her. Together we did it. It's amazing that we did. As always, we are a team.
We did it together. We were a team. After everything was done, we were in a sad daze. You were trying to stay strong for me, and I was trying to be strong for you. And neither one of us was strong. We were both broken. And I was so broken, and it hurt so much. I could barely function. I couldn't eat, sleep, or do anything. I just felt like a robot. I was in such a state of shock. You were feeding me by hand, and you did everything you could to feed me and take care of me. I was so sad and broken. I just didn't know how I was even alive. I just wanted to die. I didn't know how to be alive.
We both were hardly eating for over a month or so. We thought we would just die in each other's arms, until you had that dream, vision of Cherie, where she begged us to live. Can you please in detail explain that dream that you had, my love?
Yeah, she was around 4 or 5, and she had angel wings, and her hair was long and flowing. She was so sweet and beautiful, and so sweet. She was so cute. She had a little pink and white dress on, and she was giggling and smiling, and she was happy. She was playing or just running around. She seemed very happy and full of energy. She told me she was okay and safe, and that I should try to live, and she wanted me to try to be happy too. Yes, she did. She told me to tell you that your love had made her the happiest baby in the world for the short 5 days she had. She said you had been good to her, and she knew exactly who you were. And she told me to tell you how much she loved you. And she wanted you to know that when she had a chance to come back, she would always be Daddy's girl. She said she would always be Daddy's little girl. She was a Daddy's girl before she was born, and her little soul will always love you as her good daddy. She just wants you and me to not be sad. She said we gave her a good life when she was in me, and she doesn't want us to be sad and not live. She doesn't want us to die or give up. And she said, please, Mommy and Daddy, do not give up. I don't want you to give up. I know Mommy misses me, but I am safe and happy. She didn't want us to give up. She told me to look in the sky, and I saw all the little stars. And she said they were all the other babies who had been taken when they were so little. And she was with them, and she was happy and having fun. She said, I am playing with all the little babies, and we are happy. She told me that she was in heaven and she was having fun. She was eating ice cream and playing on a swing. She was with all the other babies who had been taken too soon. She was happy and having a good time, and so was all the other little babies. She would always be in our hearts and would always watch over us. I was crying and crying and crying, but the dream was so real. She was with me, and I could feel her so much, and I felt her love. I knew she was trying to get me not to give up, and I just knew that she was telling me that I had to live. Yes, that we had to live. And I just knew she was telling me to be strong, that her little angel self was going to watch over us and that she would always love us. She wanted us to be strong and live. She just wanted us to get through it and know that we would see her again. Yes, we will one day see her again, and she won't be a baby anymore, and I will get to hold her and hug her and kiss her, and I will know it is her, and one day we will meet again.
That was a beautiful dream. It was so very inspiring. Truly helped us so much. When you woke up from that dream, you were giggling and the happiest I have seen you since all of this has happened. You were so excited to tell me the dream. And we always shared our dreams together. That dream was so very special, and it literally saved our lives.
We shared every dream we had. That dream was the best dream I've ever had. I was so glad to have dreamt of her, and to know she was okay and having a good time, and that all the other little babies with angel wings were okay and having a good time, and those other little babies were with her. I got her through a dream. I was so glad to have our little girl speak to me through a dream. The doctor said dreams were not real, but they were wrong. Because my little girl talked to me through a dream, and she wanted us to keep living, and she wanted me to know that she was okay and playing with the other little babies. She looked so big and she was so grown up.
You know something, honey? The doctors don't know fucking shit. Like they don't even know their own left from right. Dreams are real messages. Honey, Mandy, do you remember when I had that dream of the big smash up on the Dallas, Pennsylvania highway? And you begged me not to go that day. And I didn't. And at the same time that I would have been going through there, and that spot on the Dallas highway, on the Memorial Highway in Dallas, there was a big smash up and everyone was killed. Just like in my dream that I had the night before. You telling me to listen to my dream and begging me not to go it saved my life. Literally saved my life. And you were so very right. I wouldn't be here if you didn't beg me not to go back on that day in 1988.
I remember like it was yesterday. I was so afraid you were going to get killed. I just knew if you went that you'd be gone. I just had a feeling about it. And I begged you not to go. And you did listen. And it was a good thing you listened. You would have been killed. It was real and it came true. And my dream with our little girl was real too.
You were so freaking excited, giddy and playful to tell me about that dream that you had about Cherie. You told me about it at 3:30 in the morning, a.m. in the morning. It was so wonderful to see you back to yourself. Brought me back to myself as well.
I was so overwhelmed. I just wanted to tell you how real it was and how alive she was. She was so beautiful and had such a glow. She had a little pink and white dress on. Her hair was flowing in the wind and she was giggling and playing. She was so grown up. I never thought it would happen, but she did. She appeared to me. She was happy and playing, but she was so beautiful. She had the most gorgeous little dress on and her little hair was blowing in the breeze. She was no longer a baby. She was growing up. She was becoming this beautiful little girl.
And you were playfully bouncing on the bed and giggling as you woke me up after that dream. The sound of your playful giggles and excitement in your voice was a welcoming sound to my heart and to my soul. Remember how you were that night after the dream? And how we celebrated after including our first make love since Cherie died? We became and awakened ourselves again after that.
We were becoming ourselves again. We were finding each other again. We made love and we were like we were before. It was a beautiful night. We were healing each other, and we let the fire of our love burn brightly that night. We both needed the touch and the comfort of each other. It was something so special to feel your skin and your touch. You made my heart beat so hard. We made love, and it was the most perfect thing. We were finding each other. We were going to be all right. It was like we had never been broken at all.
That was one thing that always amazed me after the death of Cherie. Idiot doctors always said that if you go through something like that, a stage is lashing out at each other. Lashing out at each other? What the fuck? We never did that. We were there for each other, supporting each other through and through, never lashing out at each other. My biggest thing was, I know I was wrong, but I felt like Cherie died, that I had let her down as a father. I loved little Cherie so much. I love you so much, my beloved Mandy, and I loved my little kiddo so much, Cherie. We had been together for 10 years at that point. Our love wasn't dying. Our lives were. We wanted to die together, there in our home, in each other's arms. Then you had that dream of Cherie, and we were resurrected. Thanks to our beloved little girl, Cherie. Thanks to her.
I could have never lashed out at you, and I knew you had nothing to do with it, and you didn't do anything wrong. I just knew you didn't cause our baby's death. I knew you loved our little girl, and I did too. We were both so sad and felt so broken, and then I had that dream, and it changed everything. I told you about the dream, and I was so happy. I had seen our baby, and she was okay. She was playing and having a good time with the other children, and she knew we were sad. And she didn't want us to be sad anymore. She wanted us to live, and she told me that she would be watching over us.
I am so thankful for that dream. Before that, we just wanted to die in each other's arms in our home. And we even told each other that was our plan. She saved our life. She saved both our lives. Bless her.
We realized that she would want us to live and be happy. And just because she wasn't here didn't mean she wanted us to not live a life. And we both decided to keep going and keep moving on. One of the only things that brought us comfort was holding each other. It was the only thing that made it bearable.
And we had to live to be together. Keep on loving each other. One great thing was that our love was never dying. It was only becoming stronger if that was possible, but our love was even more powerful through those darkest of times.
We got closer than close. It was like we couldn't get close enough. We were holding on to each other and just trying to be strong. And we just had each other to lean on. We knew that we had each other and that you were still you and I was still me. Nothing had changed that. I was so glad to be holding you again. It was like all those emotions and the pain and the sadness were melting away a little at a time. We were still sad. We were still very sad. But it was getting a little bit better. We just held each other and were so much closer than we were before. And you were taking good care of me. We were just taking care of each other. We held each other closer and we felt like ourselves again. It was the start of new beginnings. We were still sad. We still missed our girl, and you still weren't sleeping, and neither was I. We just held each other and tried to keep getting through it. The beautiful light of the candles, and the snow was falling outside. It was a scene of love and healing. We were trying to heal, and I didn't want to let you go, and I just knew we would be okay. We were healing, we were getting stronger, and it was getting just a little bit easier. We had gotten to a point where we were trying to get our lives back. And we made it through January, and we were both still broken and sad.
2 days after your dream was your 27th birthday. On January 18th, 1994. We had a very wonderful celebration together. Do you remember what all we did? We made use of being snowed in together, that's for sure.
We just stayed in and were together. It was snowing so much. And being snowbound with you in that apartment, I just remember we had so much food and candles. It was like a dream. It was just perfect. It was just like a little cave. We didn't go out or anywhere. We just cuddled and hung out. It was just so special and perfect. And all that mattered was we had each other. And I just remember the little nightgown I wore. We had a little music on and it seemed like it was just me and you.
Cold weather, and it didn't even stop us from having ice cream. That makes me laugh now. But we finally were eating again. We were actually being silly and playful together once again. Oh yes, that little white nightgown, seeing you in that helped me so very much many ways as well. If you know what I mean, honey. Oh, fucking yeah.
Little me in that little nightgown, a little white one, and I just remember it was my favorite, and I wanted to wear it just for you. We still loved making each other feel good, and that little nightie was very comfy and pretty. I liked that one. You always liked me all dolled up for you. I felt so special and pretty that night. You were telling me how cute I looked all day, and I never knew, but I was singing at the top of my lungs to all the stuff we were watching. It was so fun, and it felt so good to be happy. We made each other whole again. You were spoiling me just like you used to, and I was feeling more normal. I was letting you see my girly side, even though I was a mess. And I don't think I took my pigtails out the whole time. I just wanted to look sweet, and I was trying to be a good girl. I was just feeling like you really saw me and thought I was still cute. I would give you the eyes, I would give you the pigtails, I would give you the giggle, and I would be all cute and sweet and playful, just for you, just for Daddy. And you were so handsome and so loving. I just wanted to make you feel good and happy, and I tried to do anything I could think of. I wanted to give you anything I could. I loved doing things for you, and I knew that you thought I was pretty and cute. You were so sweet and cute, and my little heart was just so happy and full. I tried extra hard to be my good girl for you. Of course, I had to give you my naughty side too. I loved being naughty. It was so fun. I just knew how much you liked me, and I liked being cute for you, and cute and sweet by day and naughty by night. My little sweet and naughty side. Oh, I don't really need anything to get me hot and naughty either. I can do it anytime just because I don't need anything to get my motor running, and I can be naughty just for my love. I love being your silly girl, and you always make me feel good and like the most special girl in the whole world. And I love when I call you Daddy. I know that gets to you just right.